Hello there, welcome to the program Stray Bullet. My name is Steve Matambo Ngoma. Today we are joined by the MDCT Secretary General for the Youth, Love Motion Oputsa. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
Well, okay, straight to the point. People say MDC and ZANU-PF are the same. What do you say?
All ZANU-PF and MDC can never be the same. It's like water and oil. Obviously, starting from what we believe in. We believe that we are a social democratic party which follows the values of solidarity, transparency, and these are alien words within the ZANU-PF framework. And I don't believe that we follow the same path in terms of what we want to achieve for this country. Also, secondly, ZANU-PF remains a part of the past. While the MDC is a part of today and a part of tomorrow, as seen by the layers of leadership that we have within our party. We have created several layers of leadership within our party where it's possible for one layer of leadership to pass on the battle stick to the next generation of younger leaders. And this is what we are proud of what we are as a movement, and we believe that we are for the transformation of this country. We are for making sure that the ideals of the liberation struggle which we fought are realized in our lifetime. So we believe in economic independence in our lifetime. We believe in the freedom of speech. We believe in the democratization agenda in this country, which is very alien to what ZANU-PF believes in.
Others are saying so because of the youth, the youth wing that you have formed, the Youth Vanguard. They are saying it's there to crush the Democrats that is in the party. Others are giving an example that the vanguards like the Chipanganos. A lot of people have said a lot of. What can you say about the issue of the Youth Vanguard? A lot of people are saying this because of the Youth Vanguard.
As the MDC Youth Assembly, we detest any form of violence. We are victims of violence from ZANU-PF for a very long time, and we know what it means to be subjected to any violent act. So I don't want to, I want to believe that the MDC has never propagated violence in this country. We remain a peaceful movement. And coming to the vanguards, as far as we are concerned, is a very peaceful brigade. The role of the vanguard is to instill cadreship discipline and to instill ideological training within our young people. So their role and responsibilities are to make sure that young people appreciate and understand what we stand for as a party. But however, in any movement or in any organization, there could be malcontents within the institution of the vanguards. And we are working flat out to make sure that we remove any malcontents who might be bent on causing chaos, who might be bent on causing, on inflicting any form of violence on anyone. Otherwise, the vanguard in its current form is a very disciplined and peaceful brigade that is meant to ensure that young people are inculcated in them a culture of understanding what the MDC stands for, a culture of understanding what we believe in as a political party.
Coming to the other one, the interesting one, a lot has happened after the death of the MDC president, the late Morgan Richard Changirai. There's been a lot of violence in rural up to the Bulawayo one. As a USG, as the Secretary General of the party, what can you say? There are guys who have been arrested on these allegations. As a Secretary General, what can you say? We have the youth right now who have been labeled the ones who caused the violence. As an SG of the party, what can you say about the whole issue?
Well, I want to first disabuse yourself and even the nation on the role that young people play in politics. I think it's unfair on the part of even of our structures themselves to say, I've been on record to say, if people disagree, they always want to find an excuse and pinpoint young people as having been the people that were at the forefront of violence. If you look at the people that were arrested in Bulawayo, let's not talk about the merits of what happened, but if you look at the number of people that were arrested and you look and check whether these are young people alone, you will see that the majority of people that were allegedly at the forefront of this violence are not even young people. If you look at people that were causing chaos in Buhera, you also realize that some of these people are not even young people. But that does not take away the fact that we remain responsible for the actions of our young people in the party. And we have since apologized to especially the media fraternity in as far as the harassment that they've gone through covering MDC events. And we have said this should be a thing of the past. We don't believe in violence. Coming to the issues that are happening within the party in terms of the violence, we should also understand that our enemies are not sleeping. ZANU-PF is obviously taking advantage of the challenges that we are having. Differing within a political party is normal, but going to the extent of engaging in violent acts simply because we disagree is not part of what we believe in, is not part of the culture of the MDC. So we have said that as young people in the MDC, violence is not a way to solve the challenges that we have. And we are happy that our leaders are talking, we are happy. And we've made it clear that in the MDC or even in the country, there is no one leader who is worth dying for. There is no one leader who is worth going to jail for. And we're urging our membership, we're urging the people that we lead to say they should desist from any form of violence, no matter the provocation that comes.
The interesting one, the elevation of the President Nelson Chamisa. A lot of people are saying, some are saying, and it's very unconstitutional, others are saying it's constitutional. Can you take us the process? What really happened? You are the SG of the youth party, in your party, in the MDC. Take us the process. What happened?
Well, we're excited, obviously, as young people, that we have President Nelson Chamisa now at the helm of the party. And President Nelson Chamisa is one individual who has rose from the youth assembly and is continuously rose through the ranks and file of the party until he became the president. But just to clarify what transpired, I think there's been a lot of miscommunication, especially around the process and the procedure that brought President Nelson Chamisa to the helm of the party. When a vacuum ensued, remember President Tsvangirai had appointed 3 vice presidents before, and before President Tsvangirai passed on, there were conflicts in terms of who really was the president of the party, the acting president of the party. And in an attempt to make sure that we resolve this problem, a national council, which is the highest decision-making body within, in between Congress, had been called and slated for the 15th of November, of February 2018 at Harvest House to deal precisely with the issue of who was the acting president. But as you all know, on the 14th of on the 14th of February 2018, we then lost our dear leader, and therefore it didn't even put the situation worse. So a vacuum had been created in as far as now that we needed to have a new person to fill in the shoes. So the meeting that had been called had to go on. This meeting was not called because President Tsvangirai had passed on. This meeting had been called before President Tsvangirai had passed on, and no one knew that President Tsvangirai was going to pass on the 14th of February. So when this meeting came, the agenda obviously had changed from looking at the merits and demerits of who was the acting president, and we're now focusing on dealing with the vacuum that had been created by the death of President Morgan Tsvangirai. And in its wisdom, the National Council looked at the people who were there, and remember, when it comes to choosing who is and who can be president of the MDC, it's not restricted to the 3 vice presidents. What only gave them, they only had an edge because they were already acting or they were already in the office of the presidents. But this process was open to everyone who we had 40 years and we had all the other necessary qualifications that are required for one to become the president of the party. And it is in that meeting that the name of the then Vice President Nelson Chamisa came out, and the National Council agreed to give him a chance to lead us. And then we were then advised in the National Council that to Article 9.1.2 of the Constitution of the MDC, which speaks to what needs to be done when there's a vacuum within the party. And this clause makes it possible for one to be given an opportunity to lead the party in an acting capacity for a maximum of 12 months. And then in the wisdom of the National Council, it was agreed that we were going for an election, and for us to use the other route, which was to go to Congress, it was not going to be necessary. One, because we're going to lose a lot of resources. We needed about 2 million to hold a Congress. And we thought that 2 million, if we ever going to get it, would better be used to fund and finance our programs as we prepare for elections. Secondly, we realized the inevitability in terms of the division that can come with regards to going for a Congress. There's no doubt that when people have to go for a Congress, people are bound to disagree. And we realized that it was not necessary at this point to then say, can we divide our people simply because we wanted in to bring a person who can assist us as we prepare for the Congress in 2019. So we realized that having the National Council, which in any case has the prerogative to make such decisions, we then said, no, we can confine ourselves to the National Council, which equally has the powers. Remember when Vice President Nelson Chamisa and Vice President Elias Mudzuri were put in as Vice Presidents. It is this same organ that said, as a continuation of Congress, to then say, can we have these 2 people assisting the president because you are sick? So I want to make it clear that the process and the procedure was above board and it remains part of the processes and procedures that are used within the MDC.
Okay. Everyone in the country right now is talking about free, fair, 2018 harmonized election. You as a party, what are you doing as a youth wing to conscientize the youth? We want a free and fair and a non-violent election. What are you doing as a youth wing for the party?
Well, we are talking to our structures, we are talking to our members to ensure that they understand and appreciate the need to continue to do our programs and our activities in a non-violent manner. We are teaching them that we need to be able to coexist and work together even with our political opponents. But obviously, the responsibility to hold a free, fair and peaceful election does not lie with the MDC alone, neither does it lie with the MDC Youth Assembly alone. But every stakeholder that is involved in this election is to be able to do things in a non-violent manner. We are worried about the continued militarization of our villages. We are worried about the continued use of military personnel even within the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission itself. And we are worried that we have heard reports that there are probably more than 2,000 serving and former military officers that have already been deployed in communities. And we are not sure of what they are supposed to be doing. But looking at the fact that the 2008 political violence was orchestrated, especially by people from the military, we are worried that now they are the ones who are controlling the levers of power in this country. They might be tempted to go back into their default mode of violence. But obviously, we are working also together with the ZANU-PF Youth League and the other and the MDC from Professor Washington who are in Parliament. There's a program that we are working with under the Zimbabwe Institute where we are promoting peace, and we also want to make sure that our principals at one point are able to speak out against the violence. They are able to speak out on the need for a free and fair election. So these are some of the roles and responsibilities that we are going to be taking as young people to ensure that we tell our communities the need for them to continue to do things peacefully. But we want the government of the day to make sure that they create a conducive environment so that we deal with the issues of legitimacy once and for all.
As the youth wing for MDC, are you prepared for any debate with any political party, any youth wing for each political party that are playing right now in Zimbabwe?
Yes, as a government in waiting and as a party that believes in transformative politics, we believe that we are at the level where our ideas are the ones that should be fighting in the ring and not necessarily our physical makeup. So we are prepared for debate. We know that we believe that an exchange of ideas actually enhances the development of this country. So we are ready to engage at the level of ideas with any political player that will be willing. And we are giving this challenge to the media to be able to organize and make sure that young people out there hear what we stand for. If you look at the discussion that we're having today, it's more like just asking us about what is happening in our political parties. We want to be given an opportunity to then talk to issues that we represent and the issues that we believe should be done to ensure that this country moves forward. So as a movement, we are ready and we would want to be given an opportunity to engage with our colleagues from across the political divide.
You have heard out there home, the debates are coming. Watch out for the debates. We'll have more political parties that are coming for debates. For the crew behind the scene, thank you very much.